All right, welcome to another edition of DMV Sports Show. I'm your host, Rasul McGee. You know what time it is. Like every Saturday, it's Saturday. That's right, it's Saturday to hear the sports that you want to hear on your weekend. I'm your host on the Every Saturday show, Rasul McGee. No, that's the night of the Night Riders. So we got a lineup that you wouldn't believe. We're gonna talk about the Washington Commanders, who their head coach is, who's their OC, and who's their defensive coordinator, and who they're gonna pick at number 2. Are they gonna trade up or down? Before we get started, let's go. So we're gonna talk about the Washington Wizards. Trading deadline has gone and passed, and the Wizard made a deal. It wasn't a good deal in my opinion, but we'll get to that as well. We're going to talk about the Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles are on fire, even though they ain't played one game, but they have packed a pitching rotation that people has wished for the whole entire life. We're also going to talk about the Washington Capitals, and we're also going to discuss about all right. Well, somebody's having their late dinner, but that's okay. But we're going to keep going forward. We're also going to talk about the Washington Capitals. They had to beat the Bruins to stay in the hunt for the playoffs. But did they do it? We're going to talk about that too. Also, Maryland Terrapins lost to Rutgers. Are they good for the tourney? Are they good for the Big Ten? That's another question, and we're going to get to that as well. The call-in number is 512-543-4662. I say again, 512-543-4662. State your name and the record and who you represent. And also make sure you chat in because we all want to hear you so you can get the question answered the way it should be answered. So, with that being said, let's begin. So, the Washington Commanders recently hired Cowboys former defensive head coach Dan Quinn. Now, a lot of people might see this as a win for the Commanders, taking away their defense head coach away from them. But to keep in mind, the most Cowboy fans I spoke to can care less about Dan Quinn being a Commander. Another thing, the OC, Cleve Kingsbury, whatever his name, I forgot his name, King something. I see him as a really good offensive coordinator. The way he did with Arizona, it speaks volumes. Even though they haven't won a ton, they actually pulled up a lot of numbers, a lot of 300 yards with what's his name? I think it's Kyle Murray, and a lot of passing yards under Kyle Murray. Also, they had a lot of, I think they were balanced. They were real balanced. So, I mean, there is some positives, there is some very good positives in this. But does it, yo, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I apologize for that. That's not how that. Yeah, I don't know what happened. My phone is going haywire. But anyway, that was the wrong. Sorry about that, Marilyn. There's both MAs up here. Apparently, one of the MAs up here likes to play practical jokes and during the introduction. So there's a lot that's going by. So I mean, there's a lot of people that sits there and they said they don't really care about Dan Quinn actually, being a commander. They're more worried about having a head coach that they can trust to get them over the hump. And this brings me back to my point, more of that understanding of how people would sit there and they would, judge this, head coach. Now, I'm one of those individuals. One of those individuals tend to have, that's my ESPN notification about trades that going by. There's a lot of teams that sit there and say that we made the right choice. A lot of spectators on ESPN, NFL, and local news said we made the right choice. But some of the right choices that this head coach has made has not been the good one. And I don't know if we made the right choice. Only time will tell.
Yeah.
You know, the defensive head coach, Dan, not Dan, I forgot his name. He's an unknown guy. He's a linebacker coach for the Dallas Cowboys, but he is 1,000% good. His record is 155, 116. So what does that ultimately mean? That means that he's going to get the best out of his players, and he knows how to defend against other opponents. Now, he hasn't done that over the years, but I'm okay with the defensive head coach. I'm okay with him because I think he's going to get the better out of our defense. Now, we had to stock up like we did before. Now, I said before we're going to get a defensive head coach because we have to. Ron Rivera wasn't it, but we had to get a defensive head coach because he's not good with X's and O's. Remember, and I'm going to remember everybody here. Joe Gibbs was a defensive head coach and led us to Super Bowls, 3 of them. Now, I am confident that this could be potentially a good fit for us. Now, our last 15 head coaches were offensive juggernauts, but they were not defensive minded. And that's why we didn't further go ahead, right? We won a couple, titles here and there, but we didn't get over the hump. That's because they were offensive minded. They were never defensive minded. Now we have the 1,000% coach that has a track record of a winning head coach who just started with a 43-42 record, which means he's brand new. And he already said in his presser that he learned his lesson when he was a Falcon. He learned this lesson when he was a Cowboy. He learned his lesson when he was in the Legion of Boom. Ultimately, people, this guy said he's going to change his philosophy. Now, what other human being who was with the Commanders / Redskins at the time would ever say that? Greg Williams, even though the whole scandal with the targeting, he still produced wins. Even with Richie Pettibone, 1,000%. The guy was a juggernaut. I have 100% confidence in Dan Quinn. I shouldn't say 100%. I'm going to say, I would say 55, 56%. Now, the draft is coming up. You know what that means? Number 2 is very, very important. Now, a lot of people I talk about who are Commander fans have said they want to trade. They want to trade down. And I'm like, no, we definitely need a quarterback, and we definitely need another wide receiver. So if we get a selection at 2, then we trade down. But we don't want to trade from 2. A lot of noise I heard saying that we're going to trade a number 2 to go to number 1. Why? Why would we do that? Why would we do that? Doesn't make any sense to trade up. People want to get the number 1 pick.
That don't make sense at all.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. So I don't know why they would trade up to get a quarterback where we can get at 2. He's still going to be there at 2. Now, the type of quarterback is still a mystery. Caleb has said he doesn't want to go to the Bears. Caleb said he doesn't want to go to Commanders. Michael Penix said he'll go to anybody and shine. You want a quarterback like that. Another quarterback, what's his name? From North Carolina. Everybody said he's good and decent. The Heisman Jalen Williams. They want him. Listen, Just because, exactly. Hold on. I'm gonna get to you and get to the panel after this question. It does not matter if he's a Heisman Trophy winner. Joe Burrow was a winner of the Heisman Trophy, and look what he did. He did one thing. He went to the Super Bowl and lost, and hasn't been back since. So you want to risk an injury-prone quarterback to sacrifice your longevity into a Super Bowl and lose. We're not there to lose. We're there to win. And with that being said, I'm opposed to the question to the panel. At number 2, who you got? Because I know exactly who I want, and I know he's going to shine. Yes, he lost, but this guy has an arm who can bootleg and understands X's and O's. His football IQ is off the charts. Johnny Manziel, don't compare him to that. Johnny Manziel was an idiot. I like to say that aloud. He was an idiot. Yes, he had a super arm, but this person, Michael Penix, is a number 2 worth selecting. So I'm going to ask the panel. We got Big Steve here. I know we got Coach here. We got Marilyn here, the prankster. Shouldn't be a prankster, but we got her. But let me ask you guys, who do you want at number 2? We're going to start with Big Steve and end with Coach.
Who do you want, Big Steve?
Big Steve, you still there?
I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you for a minute. I'm gonna get Daniels at number 2 because he's 6'3", 225 pounds. I'm not. He's not. He's under 200 pounds, but they remind him of Jackson. He got an arm for a quarterback. If they don't, because everybody said they're gonna get my man that from Washington D.C. That is a hunch. I think they're gonna go after Daniels or Penix because they want better leadership. And remember Kingsbury already had 2 successful quarterbacks that's in the league, and one that's got 2 Super Bowl rings already. So he knows how to deal with quarterbacks. See, people mad at Kingsbury because a couple years ago during the draft, they seen his house. His house was nothing but glass, and I was like, "Oh my God, look at his house!" You know,
right?
So they're already jealous of him already. Yeah. I think he's gonna, you know, what he's gonna get in, and they're gonna have him make the pick for quarterback. That's why he may go after Penix because he was a smart, intelligent quarterback. Then somebody that's an athlete.
That I agree. What do you think, Coach?
Well, actually, I do agree with Steve. Now, when you were saying the quarterback from North Carolina, I look back at their last season, and they didn't do that well.
Right.
Go ahead.
No. You go ahead. I'm still listening.
And you know, when it comes down to the draft, good Lord, it's all different than the mock draft and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on who's going to be in that spot. And if he is going to be, and like you, Lizzo, yeah, we got to have a smart quarterback. We're going to have one that's, you know, can throw and run. And, you know, knows his plays.
Yes.
And he's got to do it. He's got to be fast.
Yes. And those are great points. Listen, folks, those are great Those are great points that Coach gave us right there. Go ahead, Marilyn, and I'm gonna get my take, and then we're gonna go to the next caller that just came in. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm waiting to see, you know, when the draft comes in. I want to see what they do and who they're going to pick. I'm going to be listening, you know, looking to see who they think is going to be that that player. I really am.
Well, I totally agree. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's okay. And yeah, let's see, we got what? Daniels and who else? We got a few, players that might be in there. But I got to see who's going to be there before I can make my choice. Period. It's going to have to be the best. Yes.
So those are great points. I echo the same things that you echoed and Steve echoed. But we got him in the next caller. He is the host of the Enhanced Sports Show. This is Louis Tenor. How you doing, Lou?
All right, thank you.
Welcome, man. I gotta always introduce you when you come into the room. You're a big star now. You come on.
Well, I don't know that. Thanks.
Well, anyway, man, listen. I gotta ask you something, man, and this is what all Cowboy fans off air, but I need to have understanding where the mindset is. Are you happy that you got rid of Dan Quinn of the Cowboys, the defensive head coach?
Hallelujah. Yes.
See, this is what I don't understand, folks. You got the organization saying, "Oh, we just took a big chunk away from the Cowboys," but the Cowboys literally pushed them out the door. You know, they don't like, "Oh, stay for another year, stay for another. We'll sign you a updated contract." None of that was happening. They were like, "Go. There's the door. Go." Okay, and then we get.
That's weird.
You see what I'm saying? And then we get Dan Quinn, and we're like, "Yeah, that's awesome. We got him." What you mean? We wasn't even shooting for him. We were shooting for somebody else, like Ben Johnson.
Right.
So if Ben Johnson was the goal, and then you get happy.
He wanted to stay with the line, so he wants to go to the Super Bowl. He's gonna get him there.
Yeah. That's what I was like. Okay, even though Dan Quinn is 43 and 42, and he had one Super Bowl appearance and lost it. That's like going to the Tennessee Titans, right? And saying that, "Oh, we almost made it, but here's a losing Super Bowl ring." You start flashing it. Not one human being is going to flash their losing Super Bowl ring. Not one human being. I'm not. Listen. I get it. He's a good coach. I get that. All right. What has he done other than losing with the Falcons? What has he done when losing with Dallas? Yes, let's be real. Regular season, he was a juggernaut. Same thing with the Falcons. He was a juggernaut. When they got into the playoffs, what happened? They was a losing team. 1-4, 1-3 with Mark McCarthy. Listen, Lou, I'm giving you the heads up. I'm not trying to bash you. I'm just letting you know what the reason is, right? Now, I go to the statistics a lot, and the reason why is to show people that this individual has to showcase more of his coaching talent and getting these players, these youngsters, these veterans to coincide so that we can make a run into the division. And we want this division. Heck, I want the division. I want the title. I want the NFC East division. I mean, you know what I mean? Divisional playoffs. I want that. I want the Super Bowl. We all want that. But to get us there, you have to showcase what you're capable of doing. Exactly.
You're going to have to build up a team.
Yes.
It's going to take a couple of years, man.
It's going to. Here's the thing.
You
know, Coach. You know that you hit something. You and Steve and Lou just hit up on something really well. I agree with all three of you. Here's my problem, and I said this when we were having Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio. The individuals have to do more than just talk on interviews or doing press conference when they get hired. They have to showcase that on the field. They had to showcase that in OTAs. When I saw OTAs, I knew right then and there, if we didn't go over 20 points, we're not going to win. We didn't even make 20 points. The only time we went over 20 points, it was against the Eagles, and the Eagles played us lightly. And that's the problem I have with being on the offensive side and when we have all the weapons that we drafted. We have two. Here's what baffled me, and I kid you not. I was thinking about this a day ago when I was at work. We have two of the most talented tight ends. We have a Jordan Reed type wide receiver in Cole Turner. We have a Fred Davis type of tight end in Jonathan Bates. We have two of the most luckiest tight ends that can open up the offense and get us first downs. We didn't even use them. You know why? Because we were going after the wide receivers heavily. These tight ends were wide open. What did we use most of the time? We used the running backs and the wide receivers only. And that's how they beat us. They all said, well, they go into the wide receivers, just double one of them. And then we'll play two-man under. And that's what they did. But if we gave Cole Turner more of a practice shot, we got him. If we give John Bates more of a 5-yard comeback route, guess what? He got the first down. I hope.
And that's why we got the Philadelphia quarterback coach yesterday also.
So the Philadelphia quarterback coach, I remember seeing him. He's a former Philadelphia coach. Former. Now, I don't know how talented he is. I have a problem with him being our quarterback coach. You know why? Because we don't know nothing of him and what he's capable of doing. And did he help develop Michael Vick? Did he help develop Randall Cunningham? Did he help?
He helped develop Hurst, and he helped develop Wentz. You know.
Oh, Carson Wentz?
He used to help develop.
Oh no!
Carson Wentz was good. When Carson Wentz was good, remember he was good at one time. Something said hocus pocus and he turned differently.
Okay, wait. Okay, so for those who don't know,
he was good before he got hurt.
Okay, so for those who don't know who Carson Wentz is, Carson Wentz was the former quarterback of the Eagles when he came out of Colorado. He threw for practically for 8,000 yards, and then he was good for 3-4 years with the Eagles. What made him good was the offensive line, and that one offensive line player was Jason Peters. Jason Peters was quite the juggernaut in the middle. The problem was that he wasn't getting sacked because he kept throwing the ball out of his hand, and he threw out of his hand, and he released he threw out of his hands. He released the ball 4 seconds on the dot, 4 seconds flat, and that allowed him to understand what they were trying to do. Right? He was unable to get sacked, which was mind-boggling because the offensive line would cradle around him, and he was a tall individual. What he would do, he would bend down to avoid getting sacked, and then release the ball on point. Now, that's talent, but the fourth year is when he started having his problems. I think it started when he twisted his ankle. I don't know who it was against. I think it was against a really good defense. I'm not sure. And they got to his ankles, and he twisted, and that's when he went downhill from there. His ankles had never been the same. My point further is that the players are coming out right now. You don't want to have a repeat of history with the players that you're getting, that you're getting right now. I know it's a carousel of coaches. I know they're looking for a brand new slate. If Dan Quinn wants to have a clean slate, he has to 1,000% and a half go look at those tapes of every great Redskin / commander that was at this organization. Now, for those here saying Redskins, I want you to understand it's the past name. I'm not saying it as any type of derogatory thing against Native American. It's the name that was given way back. We're just bringing it up as a history lesson. So moving forward, there is a tapes of the team excelling under Joe Gibbs, a team excelling under Greg Williams, a team excelling under North Turner that 1 year, Brad Johnson, and Hurst, a former Cardinal, so and a 49er. So these are things that, and Ron Rivera in 2020 with, Kyle Allen and Taylor Heineke. These are things that they need to incorporate in the offense or something similar to generate an offense that goes, because we want to be the offense that's 30 plus, scoring 30 plus a game. We can't be the team that scores 20 plus because we've been that team for how many years? Shoot, a decade. So we have to go 30 plus to scare players and teams when they come and play. When they come to FedEx Field, they're going to be scared of us. They haven't been scared of us since 2020. So, with that being said, we need a quarterback, Michael Penix. I looked at tapes with what that guy's name, the Daniels that Steve brought up. I don't see the threat. I don't see the threat, right? When you look at Michael Penix tapes, his highlights, that's a threat, right? This man can throw 60 plus yards with his left hand. That's hard to do. The only person that could actually do that was Mark Brunell. And Mark Brunell used to throw it to Santana Moss and get it popping. I mean, this guy was like, it's like an assassin. And I was like, yo, we need that guy. But then I look at the guy from North Carolina, Jalen Daniels for LSU, and I don't see the threat. I look at even Caleb. I don't see anything out of Caleb. All I see Caleb doing is just passing the ball like Sam Howell. I really do. This is just me being real.
Wait a minute. You mean he hesitates?
Yeah. Look at Caleb Daniels, and in every highlight, you'll see him hesitate. When he pulls it back, okay, so here's the thing. I don't get me wrong. Caleb is actually a really good quarterback, but he has his moments ASAP. Like there was this one game, I forgot who it was against. He had dropped back 4 steps. He clutched, he double pumped, right? His offensive line was holding up. He looked to the left, there was a wide open receiver, but he wanted the long ball. He wanted the game ball. So he threw it. Luckily, it caught a touchdown, but the guy was right in his pocket. He tipped the ball, and luckily it fell in. Just imagine if that guy hauled it in. That was a pick 6, right? So you can't really throw. He has to learn to throw it to the open man and live to find another down. See, that's the thing he has to learn.
You gotta throw it to the person that's open.
Correct. I don't like Caleb because of that. He reminds me of Fields, Tim Fields. He reminds me of him. He could run the ball. He could scramble. Now, C.J. Stroud reminds me of Michael Penix because they both could throw the long ball. They both.
I like C.J.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
I like C.J.
You want something. You want something that.
That's what I want.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I see the similarities in Michael Penix. He could scramble. He could pull. He got long legs. He could run. He could slide. You could teach him to slide, and he won't say, "Okay, I won't slide." But he'll say, "Okay, I'll slide." He'll slide. You teach him the fundamentals of the NFL and what he needs to do, he'll pick it up and he'll launch it. That's what I see in this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure if we don't get him, guess who's going to get him? The Bears. The Bears is going to like, yo,
Oh yeah.
this is going to be the guy. And then what we're going to wind up getting? We're going to get Caleb or Daniels or the dude from North Carolina, and we're just sitting there looking at. Now, Nix is the quarterback out of Oregon. I don't know about he reminds me a little bit of Kirk Cousins a little bit, but I don't know. I think if we rock with Nix, if we don't get Penix, then we're in trouble. Because if we get Daniels, or if we get whatchamacallit, the guy, I keep forgetting his name from NSC, then we're shortcutting ourselves. So we got two quarterbacks from North Carolina that possibly can't throw and keep throwing INTs.
But this one can throw. This one has a bigger arm than our quarterback now. So and he's 6'4".
But see, here's
he's taller and bigger than what you call him.
Hold on, let me pull up. I'm gonna pull up the stats real quick. Hold on, bro. Go ahead, continue. I'm listening. No, continue on. Go ahead.
And his sophomore season, he had more yards. He had more yards in the sophomore season than he did in his junior season.
Okay, so Drake Maine. Drake Maine is the quarterback out of UNC. He has a 17-9 record, and he's earning the ACC Player of the Year honors. 2002, leading the ASC into yards and passing in the season. Now, here's my problem with this right here. I'm going to pull up his stats, right? Now, don't get me wrong. His accolade speaks for himself, all right? I get it. Same thing with Sam Howell. Sam Howell and all these quarterbacks done a great job, right? But in the NFL, we have really quick DEs, defensive tackles, and other players. Now, here's what Drake Maine brings to the table. He passed for 3,608 yards, 24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. His quarterback rating, get this, folks, his quarterback rating is 79.3. That's 15th, right? 15th. That is not a standard you want to be considered as drafting. So you want a quarterback rating to be at least 70 or above. Right now, this guy is ranked 15th. So the above is Michael Penix. He falls to 15th. You're thinking, why are you selecting at 15th? Now, don't get me wrong. Again, folks, this is just me talking facts and statistics. You don't have to listen to me. If you're a Tar Heel alum and you like, hey, well, listen, you don't want to go back on quarterback rating. You just want to go on touchdowns and interceptions alone. You're right. The TD and / interception ratio is good. He has more touchdowns than interception, which means that he doesn't hold the ball long. He knows how to get it out of his hands quick. He probably can pitch it. Yeah, he can do that. That's fine. But that means that he has a lot of drop balls. He overthrows. Just looking at this, he overthrows. He actually incompletes. He probably have a high rating of incompletes. That's why it's at 79. Right? So this is where
there's another thing. There's another point, Russell.
Yeah.
When they come up and it depends on how they adjust to the NFL.
That's true. That's a great point. Excellent point, Coach. Well, his career stats. His career stats said that he's he went over 100 quarterback rating. Well, in 2023, it was 149, 157, 177 in 2021. But his overall is 79. So there is a stat based on his year round. He went over 4,000 yards in 2022 with a 38 touchdown and 7 interception. but overall, his is 79. Now, does this mean a lot? To me, it's a lot. You know why it means a lot? Because the highest, you know what? Let me just indulge everybody where I get my statistics from. Hold on. I'm gonna go with Michael Penix, right? I'm gonna go with Michael Penix and his career. And you'll see exactly what I am talking about, right? So Michael Penix, Washington State, all right, and he is actually. Let me pull up stats right here because I'm looking at his name. Now Michael Penix, 4,000 yards, 36 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, quarterback rating. Get this, folks. This is beautiful. 84.1. 84.1. That will tell you that he actually makes better decisions than any other quarterback in FBS. So here's what I'm saying to you. This guy was in the playoffs for a reason. Him and his team. Why? Because the man throws more touchdowns than he does interceptions. Now, is he
They're really good offense that really, you know, and they did set up plays, and they evidently
they knew.
Wow.
He knew. Yeah, look, check out this. This is why I love this quarterback. Look, check this out. Listen to the stats. Quarterback rating is. Hold on. Y'all still there? Okay. All right. So I had to say that because you know how this does me sometimes. But check this out. Hold on. So here's the stats for 2018 up to 2023. You're going to like this stats. And this is why I'm high on Penix. His quarterback rating started from 125.6 in 2018, 157.6 in 2019, 136.5 in 2020, 101.9 in 2021, 2022, 151.3, 2023, 157.1. Folks, when I read that stat, you know what jumps out at me? Touchdowns. The man knows how to throw touchdowns rather than interceptions. What that 11 interceptions really tells me is that it just means that he knows when to throw it in zone and 2-man under. Now, double coverage, I can see him throwing in double coverage because of his arm. But the man throws touchdowns with no hesitations. It says a lot. This is
I want when he gets of age to come to the NFL.
That just shows you. It shows that the maturity of this guy. He has no fear throwing 60 yards. His wide receiver going to catch it. We have talent. Now, like of Commander fans that I talked to, they want Marvin Harrison Jr. I understand that. I get that. I want to. So that's why we trade down. As soon as we go ahead and select Michael Penix, we start trading down. Boom, boom, boom. Then trade up. Boom, boom, boom. We start adding on. We start looking like we want a playoff. We want to be in the playoffs and we want a Super Bowl. What we look for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does this ultimate mean that we're going to get Drake May? I'm looking at Drake May stats. All I see is 3 years. He's been in 3 years. Now, I'm going to pull up Caleb. I'm going to pull up and I'm going to pull up, what's the other guy's name? Caleb and Daniels. All right.
I don't think he's going to go at the Drake May. Remember, what you call a kind of shooter, kind of, what you call him?
Yeah.
You know, Kingsbury. Remember,
Kingsbury.
He had 3 running. He had 3 running shoot quarters. You know, so Penix is a running shoot, Daniels is a shoot, Mays is and you come from USC is not.
Well, see, here's the thing. I just pull up.
On pivot.
Well, see here, I just pull up Caleb's numbers, and very impressive. 3,000 yards, 30 touch fire interceptions. He has an 82. So it's possible we can get Caleb, but it's more likely the Bears are going to get Caleb. I know this because the Bears played the I don't know game, the amnesia game. In the NFL, you got to learn how to play the amnesia game very well. And that's what we're looking at right now, because right here's the thing, 3 years with USC, 170 in 2023, 168 in 2002. And so, come on. Why is it doing this now? Come on. Where's Scourge? There he is. All right. 69 in 2021. So his by far is of our quarterback. But Michael Penix has everything from 2018. He's been in there for 5 years, and he light up. He has 4 touchdowns than any other quarterback in college. And he went over more yardage than any other quarterback. The highest was 4,000, and that's USC, and 4,000 for Dre, right? So my thing is here, and I'm gonna post to Lou, and then we're gonna go here. Here's where I like this guy. 2019, he had 219. He was just coming off the bench. 2018, he was coming off the bench. 2019, he actually got into the game over 1,000 yards passing. 2020, he went over his 1,300 passing in the previous year. In 2021, I think that's when he got injured. He had 939. Then he went over 4,000 yards, not once, folks, but twice, 2022 and 2023, and increased his touchdown percentage. This shows you that he's a competitor. You know, this is what you can't get in real life. You can't get the dominant back unless you do your research. And I tell you right now, this man deserves to be in the NFL. Look, check this out. All right, I'm gonna go right to Daniels. Jalen Daniels. Yes, folks, I have to sign out the words so I can type them in. Don't worry about it. I'm doing great. All right. So let's go to stats. All right. So everybody still with me? Everybody still here? Okay, some reason I can't hear y'all. Hold on. I apologize. This probably is. There you go. All right. Sorry about that. I'm getting the notifications all the time. All right. You still here? Why can't I hear y'all? I don't have y'all turned down. Let's see. Hope y'all don't. Yeah, that's what it is. I hear you now. I knew it. I knew it. Daggone computer. Yeah. Sorry about that. See, my computer is starting with me. We're going to have to fight. Keep on, man. I'm going to take you to the junkyard and drop you off. All right. No, anyway. So.
That sounds like me.
Hey, technology knows. Yo, technology better not mess with me right now. I'm on fire. All right, so we're gonna go with Jalen Daniels. So this is Jaden Daniels, and this is his quarterback stats. All right, now, folks, this is what I do on a living. I look at stats every single time where I feel like I gotta have this question answered. When you get that itch and you feel like, wait a minute, there's something wrong. And I look at his touchdown records. Don't get me wrong, folks. His touchdown records is phenomenal. 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He has a quarterback rating at 95. Now, that does put him at the top. But you look at his career stats. His career stats doesn't say what Michael Penix did. Now, listen, I don't take away what the man has done. He's actually excelled in LSU. You know, he has 3,812 yards and has a quarterback rating of 95. Then that means he is actually 1,000% worthy of being in the NFL. I didn't say he doesn't need to be in the NFL. I just don't feel like LSU players, such as you can go to Marcus Russell. I saw he was a great quarterback for LSU. He was killing his height, his weight, his running ability off the charts. Won a championship, right? When he got to be a Raider, guess what? He was a no-show. He was eating donuts, bonbons, everything. He was just going at it. He was like, yo, bring me that beer. Put it right. Let me show you this piece. He should have been in the books. LSU quarterbacks never do that well. I don't know about Jaden. I'm not saying he's Jamarcus Russell. I just don't think he's going to be.
Yeah, no.
You know.
I remember Burrow did good.
Barrow. Let me. You know what? You brought up Barrow, and I'm about to tell the truth on Barrow. Barrow, he did okay when he came in because nobody knew of him. That's how he got into the Super Bowl. They didn't know how to contain Barrow until they saw what Barrow could do in previous tapes. And what happened? They took it to Barrow and lost. Did Barrow go back? Yes. Barrow went back to the AFC division title game and lost because he got injured. And then what happened the third year? He got injured again. So that tells me that LSU, Go ahead.
He gets a break. I mean, he got real injury and then he got injured again.
That's true, and that's my point. We don't think that LSU quarterbacks are going to exceed in the NFL because of that stat alone, because they're injury prone. Now, no, go ahead, Coach. What you guys say?
Nothing. I just saw the Hokies beat Notre Dame in basketball.
Well, that's good. That's what's up. So Maryland Terrapins lost to Rutgers, a really good win, a really good easy win, and they lost. And I was so upset. So they have to win out to actually have a better seeding in the playoffs. In the Big Ten, actually.
They pulled up another big upset today as well.
Against who?
Wisconsin.
So, man, I see Wisconsin.
Rutgers beat Wisconsin.
Oh, Rutgers beat Wisconsin. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing about it is we have to beat some really good teams to actually get into the seedings. So we're not even doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, because they're good players. You know, after beating I think they beat Michigan State and then they went and beat Ohio. What's that? Ohio? Well, anyway, they beat somebody and they went and they had a field day with it. Let me see if I can pull them up. Jeez. We got 4 minutes. I don't know if I can be able to do that in 4 minutes. We have such a good conversation. Well, I mean, why not? Why not? I think we can do that. I'm going for it. I'm going for it, Lou. Time me on it. All right. Let's see. All right, I'm going. We got this already. So, produce number 2. All right. LSU. All right, here we go. My BPS is low. That's why the page is not downloading quick enough. Well, the Capitals beat Boston, so they stay in a fighting chance of reaching the playoffs. But they got to maintain this high intensity, so they can stay in a chase for a division title. with the Rangers. That's gonna be something. All right, come on.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be.
39-40.
Yeah, I know. It's something that I don't think they'd be able to do, but they're gonna have to try and do it.
Right.
Big 12. The Big 12 is actually, getting good too. See. Let's see. Big 10. There we go. Big 10. All right. Maryland Terrapins. There we go. All right. So, folks, we got 2 minutes. All right. Since we got 2 minutes, Super Bowl. KC versus 49ers. The Maryland Terrapins are 12th in the Big 10, and they're 13-11. That is not good. So they have to have a 7-game explosion to reach 20 to get into the tournament. All right. So the remaining schedule so far is Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, Rutgers again, Northwestern's been kicking our butts. Indiana's been kicking our butts too, and Penn State. We actually kicked Penn State butt. So that is the last 7 games of the season, and then it's March Madness.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have to win 7 games to reach 20, and that's going to be hard, really hard. That lineup right
They
there.
can do it.
I mean, Northwestern is the big one that we can never beat, football-wise and basketball. We used to beat the crap out of them.
Go to games.
All right, that's what's up. So Super Bowl, who we got? I know I got 49ers. Who you got?
49ers.
All right, so Marion just she woke up. She yelled 49ers. All right, that's what's up. What you got, Big Steve?
I'm gonna go KC.
All right.
I'm going with the Chiefs.
All right, so I'm standing alone. So that's why Lou ran, because he didn't want to be on my side. No worries, Lou. Go ahead and watch teams. All right. So, with that being said, happy birthday. Today's your birthday?
Yes, Dick.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Mr. Kev Dix, telling him happy birthday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you Kevin.
All right, yeah.
All right, Kev. Happy birthday to you. I hope you go live it up. You don't drink too much, because you got to come back to work. That we don't want you drunken on the air, man. I'm joking. You never done that. Happy birthday, bro. All right. With that being said, I want to thank Big Steve, Coach Marion, and the host of the Hand Sports Show, co-host Louis Tenor, for coming in and entertaining us. And I want to thank you guys for coming in. We're also and entertaining us and watching us. And we're going to talk about things next Saturday, who won the Super Bowl and what the Maryland Terrapins and the Washington Capitals and Wizards and Commanders are doing on a daily, and Baltimore Orioles. Don't forget about them, because they're on fire. So be safe. God bless.
Yeah, man.
And
God bless everybody. Have a safe weekend.
And have a great
God bless
weekend.
y'all.
God bless everybody. All right. Be safe. All right. Peace. And thanks to you for watching the Commanders. Listen. Oh, Michael Pitt definitely happy research. Yes. All right. Kentucky is playing basketball 49 all day. That's what's up. Thank you for turning in. Stay tuned for next Saturday when we talk about more sports that you want to hear on your Saturday. God bless. Dave. I'm out. Peace.